Recently, a leaker with an accurate track record has suggested that not one, but 2 Halo games are in development right now. And we're going to be discussing Halo's big player count that may be in Halo 6, maybe Battle Royale, maybe big battles like Star Wars Battlefront 2, and tons of new jobs just opened up at 343 Industries. Something big is happening, and today we're going to discuss it. Let's get into it. So a leaker, a supposed leaker, has made some claims about Microsoft's games as well as Halo. First off, how do we know that this guy isn't a troll? How do we know that he isn't just pulling our leg? Well, the person who claims this leak is Royale. He has a legitimate track record on leaking material in the past. Mainly in 2016, he leaked Microsoft's E3 2016 press conference, which was actually pretty damn accurate. He's definitely an insider, an employee that's gone rogue, or something of that nature. So the leaker claims that a new Forza game, Age of Empires, and Fable are all planned, if not already in development. The leaker claims Perfect Dark will be returning probably as a third-person shooter by Coalition, the creators of Gears of War 4. And this is super important because just shortly after these claims were made, Storylab, a Coalition and Microsoft affiliate who works with Coalition on their projects, posted on their site that they are working on a new IP with the studio. Since then, it had just been removed. It seemed like they maybe put this up accidentally or prematurely. While nothing is set in stone, I think this is enough evidence, especially with him already having leaked E3 2016 for Microsoft. I think this leaker actually knows what he's talking about. So the leaker says, I would love to have a really high player count, connections per session, for Xbox's biggest franchise. I think it's safe to say he's talking about Halo there. And in a separate post he says, one last correction because I will close my setup soon, at least 2 different and unknown game ideas with Halo found. I have an idea about what they might be, but this is too vague. So I speculate 2 different Halo games. So I don't have to tell you why this is super exciting, but 2 different Halo games might be in the works. Nothing is confirmed, obviously, and this is 100% speculation. Hell, we don't even know that this guy is telling the truth. And 2 different game ideas, whatever that may be in this context, well, that could just be Halo 6 as one thing. But this all kind of makes sense. If 343 is working on a side Halo game experience, then that may mean that they plan to release it in 2019 and have Halo 6 delayed to 2020, which would make sense with everything that they've been doing up to this point. Unless, of course, they just release the side game this year and have Halo 6 next year, but I see the first more likely. After all, Grim Brother 1 says in a very subtle, weird way that might actually suggest that we are not getting any games this year by saying not that kind of adventure in a recent Halo Waypoint post. So now I'm starting to really lean towards the idea that Halo 6 is actually coming out in 2020, and if they're already working on a side Halo game, then that means they're probably filling 2019 with a side Halo game. So I think when this guy said 2 different game ideas, I'm pretty sure that many of us can agree that the first title will be Halo 6. Obviously, they're working on Halo 6. I mean, there's already tons of evidence, and it just makes sense that 343 Industries at this moment is working hard on the next big chapter for Halo. Why wouldn't they be? And the second game ID, that is what interests me. And that's what we're talking about right now. It could be so many different things, but I am guessing that it is a side Halo game, a complete side first-person shooter Halo experience. Considering how poor Halo Wars 2 sold, I don't think they're going to go down the route where something is so bizarre and different from the first-person formula with Halo. I don't think they're working on Halo Wars 3 nor assisting another studio on doing that. I'm thinking of a side Halo game FPS, potentially like Halo 3 ODST, Halo Reach, or something of that nature. These stories were fantastic side Halo games. The stories were so great, but they are basically impossible to continue. So that's why I'm saying I'm hoping 343 is working on a game that allows them to do what they've wanted to do since they've become a studio. Something that comes natural to them. Something that isn't like forced with the main installment because there's so much burden, there's so much expectations upon Halo 4, 5, and 6. Side Halo games like the one that may be in development right now are meant to be experimental, in my opinion. I think that it is meant to take a step outside of the traditional Halo formula. Every single Halo game has taken a risk, but more so the side Halo games, and they've done so well, and it's sort of like a gamble. A lot of people did not accept, how Halo Reach, how Halo 3 was at first as far as the gameplay was, but eventually we learned to love for what it was, right? Anyway, at the end of the day, hopefully I'm not rambling, we have no idea what they're making. It could be a Halo Mega Bloks game, which was leaked a while back but canceled. Maybe with all the videos, including what we made here on HaloFollower and all the positive feedback with it, they have considered to give it another chance, maybe to outsource it, who knows? Maybe they're working on another Spartan Strike, but that didn't sell well either, and I just don't see them releasing it unless Microsoft, kind of told them, hey, we're selling this new Microsoft thing, you need to make something Halo related so people will buy this tablet or something. Or we might even see a Halo VR experience. VR is becoming very big in the world of gaming, but I don't think it's big enough to justify a big studio like 343 to put all their work into. After all, VR is still very expensive. Although it is very cheaper than it was maybe 3 or 5 years ago, it is still too expensive for a lot of gamers to ever get involved in right now. It needs to drop a little bit more, become a little bit more mainstream. So I doubt that it's a VR experience, but if they are working on that, hopefully it's longer than 5 minutes. But I'm really hoping that they make something completely new. Hell, with the Return of the Flood, they might actually make a Flood-based game. Maybe something in the original trilogy, a Marine story, making a Marine Flood horror game would be absolutely amazing and something that we've wanted for so long, and it would kind of pay tribute to Halo 3 ODST and how the ODSTs aren't as strong as Spartans. Now put us in the boots of a Marine, somebody that is much weaker, much less armed and powerful than an ODST or a Spartan like Master Chief, and then put us against a terrifying foe like the Flood, especially with the Return. So like a Marine fighting the Flood in post Halo 5 would be absolutely great. It would build the story and it would play on the Flood. It would put them back at center stage, and I think it would be a great concept for them to work on. What do you guys feel about all of this? Let me know down in the comment section. I should mention, it would appear that about 20 or 30 new positions have just opened up in the past couple of months at 343. So if you're a game designer or developer or you're just a geek, then definitely try to apply to that if you have the qualifications. But why I'm talking about it now is because, well, in the context given, because there are millions of possibilities why there's so many new jobs, but in this context, I think there's two main reasons why there's so many new positions. Number one being 343 simply needs more help with Halo 6. It's a big project, and from what we've seen so far, Halo 6 will probably be the most ambitious, the most amount of time worked on Halo game to date. Or 343 is needing to expand elsewhere, perhaps into a fully complete side Halo game experience. If 343 is juggling two big Halo games, of course they're gonna need 20 or 30 new people to put together all of that and release it in a timely manner. What do you guys think about this? Do you have any theories as to why 343 is opening up so many new jobs? So let's pivot back to one of the very first things that this supposed leaker was talking about, and he says that he wants a really high player count for Xbox's biggest franchise, aka Halo. Now, I had planned to talk about this later, but I guess now will work since it's relevant and the leaker is discussing a big player count. But I think with the rise of Battle Royale games, it makes me wonder, maybe 343 might actually get involved and try to jump on that bandwagon. Games like PUBG or Fortnite drop players into a wide landscape to grab weapons, survive, get gear, and basically be the last one alive. This concept has been incredibly popular not only in movies but also games, and it has sold incredibly well, and I think it's very likely that 343 is taking notice of games like this and wondering how they can make their own version in their own way of Halo Battle Royale. Since Halo 3, players have been asking for bigger battles, for big player counts, and Warzone sort of compensates for this, but we want something bigger. We want Battlefield type war maps, and with Warzone making its introduction in Halo 5, I think right now for Halo 6, for maybe even a side Halo game, it's the best time for it to evolve, to step up, and to become something truly amazing, because at the end of the day, Warzone could use a lot of work. Maybe something like Star Wars Battlefront 2 plus Warzone would be awesome. But of course, if they were to do that, they would need to forget about the progression and loot crate systems, and also the dozens of other flaws with Battlefront 2. I also want to talk about a legitimate social space now in Halo, potentially with other players. Now, I think that it's a trend that 343 has been trying to get on board with social spaces. It's been something that has been getting increasingly popular with games, and it just makes sense. In Halo 5, we can actually walk around some parts of the campaign talking to individuals, interacting with the environment. It certainly needs a lot of work and something that needs multiplayer elements as well, but it shows that 343 is trying to ride the big trends, even if they do it in a very weak way. So guys, what do you think about this supposed leaker? Do you believe what he has been saying so far? What do you feel about a big player count in Halo? What games do you think are in development for Halo? What do you want to see? Let me know your thoughts and feelings that you had during this video down in the comment section below. I want to hear it. And guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been very exciting news, and I can't wait for this year, because I mean, another Halo game that's gonna be freaking awesome to cover. And yeah, so anyways guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.